Welcome everyone to the fourth round of the FIDE World Cup 2025. On your screen is Arjun Erigaisi, the number one player of Indian chess, and he has had a smooth sailing in this tournament until now, and he faces a very interesting opponent, Grandmaster Peter Leko. Leko beat Bobby Cheng in round number 2. He had a bye in round 1, beat Bobby Cheng in round 2, and Kirill Alexienko in round 3. And both these matches were without going into the tie break. So this just goes to show that Peter Leko is in very good form. It's also quite surprising for many of the viewers because Peter is well known for his commentary, a world-class player. Played the World Championship match against Vladimir Kramnik back in 2004. Almost beat him there, so there's no doubt about his caliber or his strength. However, in the present day, he doesn't play much. He's the trainer of Vincent Keimer and also a world-class commentator. However, in this tournament, he decided to play in India, and that already is so exciting that he's doing well and now facing one of the best players of the present generation, Arjun Erigaisi. So this clash is something that everyone is looking forward to. The players are ready. It's 90 minutes plus 30 seconds increment and a 30 minutes after 40 moves, and off we go here. Handshake, and let's see what Peter does with the white pieces. He opens the game with pawn to e4. And pretty sure that Arjun goes for the Sicilian here, adjusts the clock, and yes, Sicilian on the board. Well, when you want to fight your opponent, it does make sense to go for the Sicilian. Knight to f3, and now e6 by Arjun. Very interesting choice. Let's see what Peter does. Yes, he plays the open Sicilian. This is going to be good fun. Pawn takes pawn by Arjun. And now knight takes. And he plays his knight out to c6. We are looking at Sicilian Taimanov here, or maybe, so there are a few moves now. a6 is one of them. Queen c7 is the other. He plays bishop c5. Now this is not very well known opening. It's not played too much, and you can see that Arjun gets up from his chair after making this move, and Peter, after a good 17-minute thing, plays ndb5. Of course, there were many moves here. Knight to b3 was another one. Knight takes c6 was possible, but knight b5. Looking at these dark squares, Arjun brings his knight out to f6. And now one of the points is, if you go for check, I have king e7. And this is actually interesting because the bishop is now outside here. Bishop f4 played by Peter. He's threatening a check here on c7. So Arjun castles. The dark squares are weak for sure. And now the best move is bishop c7. It's almost like you want to trap this queen there, but it has a square on e7. And now an important move, bishop d6. Peter plays it. So bishop comes to d6, and after bishop takes d6. By the way, Arjun has had this exact position against David Navara in June 2025 when he played at the World Rapid and Blitz Team Championship, and David had won that game. Queen d8 played, and here David had played the move bishop e2. Let's see what Peter does. He goes long castles, maybe a more active and aggressive move here. But look at the time on the clock. Peter has 1 hour 12 minutes. Arjun has 1 hour 33 minutes. Pawn to a6 played, attacking the knight. The knight comes back to d4. And now knight to e7 played here by black. The idea of this move is just to avoid the trade of knights. Push the queen away with knight e8, b5, b4, a5, bishop b7, a common idea, and a4 played by Peter. Well, generally white goes h4 and starts pushing his kingside pawns, but Peter plays on the queen side, And Arjun, he doesn't even think much, 30 seconds, and plays b5 and sacrifices a pawn. His point is, if you take here, then I will activate my rook down the a file. Peter takes, a takes b5, a takes b5, and now you can take on b5 with the bishop. He does it. Bishop takes b5. And what is Arjun going to do here? Well, he plays knight to e8. He's still in his preparation, which is phenomenal. You can play queen g3 here, queen f4 here, queen b4 here. These are the possible moves. He plays his queen to b4, threatening rook a1 check. And yes, rook a1 check has been played, but it's not a big threat. Yeah, like I just go king d2, and if you trade rooks, I trade rooks. My king is pretty safe. I'm pawn up as black, as white. So king d2, and if you look at Arjun's time, he is at 133. He comes back 133 still. Now Peter can go back and repeat, but he can also bring his rook to e1, try to run with his king from e2 to f1. He plays king c1. And maybe both are testing the waters. Maybe Arjun wants to play on, maybe Peter wants to play on. I think more interested would be Peter, because he has the white pieces, and in World Cup format, you really don't want to draw so easily with white. You want to fight and make that white pieces count. So king d2, after a lot of thought there for Peter Leko. He has 58 minutes. Arjun, does he have any intention to fight here? Not really. Arjun says, it's not my battle to fight here with the black pieces. If you draw, I will come with the white pieces tomorrow and press. So he goes back rook a8, and Peter Leko pauses the clock. And I think he wants to call the arbiter. He claims the draw there by calling the arbiter, saying, I'm going to make the move king c1 here. And this king c1 move, and the arbiter comes in. And there you see, he's saying, I'm going to play king c1, makes the move there. By the way, look at the times on the clock. 46 minutes for Peter, 1 hour 33 for Arjun. Arjun didn't even think in this game. And Arjun is okay with a draw. Smile on the face of Arjun. He's like, I'm okay with a draw here, Peter. And that's a very smart call by Arjun. I don't know about Peter's decision here. The arbiter also agrees with the draw, I believe. They've played only for 20 moves, and that too Arjun was all in his prep at this point. It will be interesting to see what happens in the second classical game as both players smile. Of course, Peter has immense respect for Arjun and his play. He's commentated on many games. Arjun says you could play b3, then maybe some check. And they kept analyzing for a very long time. And I've just put this in like 5x speed right now, which shows the amount of time they spent. And there you have it, a draw between the legend Peter Leko and the youngster Arjun Erigaisi.